Hey everyone, I'm Cappy and welcome to Beyond the Plate. This is a podcast where we sit down with the world's culinary elite to explore their journey into the food industry and the social impact they have made in their communities. If you're new to the pod, welcome. If you've listened before, we're glad you're back. If you're just tuning in, don't miss Heard, our short audio newsletter that comes out every other Monday right here on Beyond the Plate. I'm sharing what's on my plate, from culinary insights to restaurants and recipes, all in just a few minutes. This week we're bringing you an episode we recorded in front of a live audience at Everybody's Coffee. It was hosted by The Bookseller in Chicago. I had the pleasure of meeting and moderating a conversation with Jessica Secrest about her new book called Of Course It's Good. You'll obviously hear more about it in the episode, but I just want to share a little bit about Jess and the book. She is known for her aggressive tutorials, which are actually really funny. They're informative and very real. They're also known as she calls them, aggressipes. I'm using air quotes, aggressipes. Jess is a force on social media. She has well over 10 million followers across all platforms. And the book, again called Of Course It's Good, is packed with her signature hostile but hilarious guidance that all of her followers tune in for nearly every day. Think mouthwatering tater tot creations, slow cooker recipes, dips, all the things. So without further ado, she's a mom, home cook, and the creator of the wildly popular social media page at Applesauce and ADHD. She's been featured on Good Morning America, ABC News, The Drew Barrymore Show, and plenty more. Please enjoy this episode as we go beyond the plate with Jessica Secrest. Thank you to Susie and the whole Everybody's Coffee and Bookseller team. If you haven't been to the Bookseller in Lincoln Square, make sure you check it out. They do some of these book talks there. They're a little more intimate, smaller, if you will, but, bringing the big guns. So, as Susie said, my name's Andrew. People call me Cappy, and by day I work with Rachel Ray. And by night I have a podcast called Beyond the Plate where I sit with chefs and restaurateurs and food personalities from around the world to talk about their journey into the food industry and how they give back to their communities. And I was really thrilled when I got this call and the opportunity to have this discussion with Jess because, as you all know, she is a force and she's very real. And I did one of those things where I sat on the couch after my twins went to bed and I'm like, I'm just going to hop on social media for 5 minutes, set my timer, and 2.5 hours later, down the Secrest rabbit hole I went. So anyhow, let's get to it. I am going to put my podcast hat on. It's already on. This is my podcast. And I want to warm us all up a little bit and become a little more familiar for the plus ones in the room, maybe. And I want Jess to tell us who you are and what you do. How did this all start?
All right. Well, some of you may have been following me since the very beginning, and so I see hands. But if you did not know, Applesauce and ADHD originates from back in January of 2023. So it hasn't even been 3 years since I started doing this. I decided that I was going to document our journey feeding our child with ADHD. He was very young when he was diagnosed, and we got recommendations from his doctor and his therapist of what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing, and I felt like nobody was talking about it. So my account started basically as a hands-only account. You'd see me throwing applesauces into his lunchbox or into his snack tray, and it quickly evolved over the next year into 1 million followers on TikTok. And I wasn't quite sure why for a very long time, but after about 9 months is when I started the aggressive tutorials. But going back to my very first viral video ever, I'm wondering if anyone ever saw me make gummy bears from scratch. I see. Yes. So that was about 20 days after I started my TikTok journey. I had my first viral video and I thought, I might be onto something. Maybe I should cook on the internet. But I never set out to have a social media presence at all. I got 100 followers in the very beginning and I thought, okay, I did it. I can be done. Very, very quickly, I realized that I liked it and I didn't want to just be done. And Aggressive Tutorials, as some of you may know, was born out of an Uncrustable, which I saw someone making an Uncrustable the wrong way. And if you did not know, the right way to make an Uncrustable is to swirl the Uncrustable maker on your countertop and not rip the bread from around the Uncrustable maker. And the face that you make while swirling it is important. Thank you. So that's how I came to be in. Once I made my first aggressive tutorial, I then taught you how to fold a fitted sheet aggressively. That's an inside joke on my page because the face is always important when you fold a fitted sheet. And very quickly after that, it was very clear to me that cooking aggressively on the internet was something that everybody wanted me to do every single night of the week. And I haven't really turned back since. So that's how I got here.
So good. Quick reminder, but it's not a reminder because I didn't tell you yet. There's going to be a Q&A at the end. So gather your questions in your head as we discuss, but there will be plenty of time for Q&A afterwards. Okay, so now you've amassed millions of followers on TikTok, different social media platforms. What was the moment when you were like, holy crap, I think I've got something here?
So that would be, it is in the book, the taco potato tot casserole, which if you did not know, you can't say tater tot in a cookbook, not allowed, but you can say potato tot and that's fine. We all know what I'm talking about. I made this recipe on a regular night of the week, like I always do, and I chopped up the beef aggressively and I cooked it until it was brown and not gray, and I washed my fucking hands after I touched raw meat. And somebody took this video and they, without my permission, which I do not condone, by the way, but this was a good story. They took my video and they posted it to Twitter on my behalf, let's say, and they said, I would die for this woman. And I was in a live about a week or two later. It was the same week that I hit 1 million followers on TikTok. And everyone in my live stream was saying, you're going viral on Twitter. You're going viral on Twitter. And I was like, I don't have a Twitter, so I don't know what you're talking about. And I thought they were trolling me. They were not trolling me. This video wound up with 30 million views on Twitter alone. And the response to that was overwhelmingly positive. That does not happen on Twitter ever. And that led to me being on the Drew Barrymore show. That led to me getting calls from book agents. How we're here. That led to me being interviewed by news outlets, going on Fox 2 News in Detroit, doing a whole bunch of really cool things that I never thought I could do. That was the moment that I knew that I was onto something, that I was like, okay, wait, this could I could do something with this. Like, this isn't just me screaming in my kitchen making dinner anymore. This is maybe I should just make a cookbook.
So that's when you decided to go all in, or were you kind of already all in?
At that point, I was definitely already all in. So I never wasn't all in. I am a type of person who has no chill. I'm a neurotic human. So I have been posting a video every single day on the internet, and I have not missed a day in well over 2.5 years.
That's wild.
For the bulk of that time, I was posting between 5 to 9 videos a day. Now I post 1 to 2 videos a day, but my videos have gotten better and I post other places. So I post photos on Facebook. I post stories on Instagram. You get a lot of me in a lot of different ways now. In the similar way that you used to when I was posting just on TikTok, now I've kind of diversified and I've taken on different projects, and writing a cookbook took me away from being able to post as many videos. You still get a lot of me out in the universe, but it's just in different ways scattered about like a little scavenger hunt.
Are you posting different types of videos and content on different platforms?
Sometimes. It just depends. So I will say Facebook gets all of it. TikTok gets a lot of it. Instagram gets most of it. And YouTube gets most of it as well. So Facebook gets a lot of my things. So I know a lot of you maybe here know me for what I talk about in my videos. Way back when, all of my body positivity videos, a lot of that lives on my Facebook. Now I see heads shaking, yes. So a lot of those pieces of me that used to exist only in one platform now exist in writing. And now I have a physical way for you to have me in your home.
Look at that.
How cute.
Okay, so with all this content, are you fully driving that? Or are you paying attention to comments or messages or algorithms? All of that, none of that, some of that?
I try to pay attention. If you think I don't see you, I see you.
Yeah.
I try to pay attention to as much as humanly possible. Obviously, at this point now, I have many millions of followers across many different platforms, and it is hard to keep up with everything. But I film everything myself. I edit everything myself. I post everything myself. I respond. If you get a comment back from me, it's really me. And I see the comments. I like as many as humanly possible. Yeah, I love the community here. So I worked really hard to make these videos and put them out in the world. And I worked hard on them. And I know that a lot of people really resonate with them and have things that they want me to hear and see them sharing. And I try to be there for all of it. There's not enough hours in the day, but it's okay. I have so much fun.
How often do you film what you're cooking?
Almost every single time I cook, I film.
You do?
It's very rare that I'm cooking something and that I don't film it. In fact, I was making dinner the other night for Matt and I and the kids, and I just whipped up like a really basic chicken and broccoli stir fry. And it was after sports, and we got home, and everyone was hungry, and it took me like 16 minutes to make. And I looked at him and I go, oh, this is how fast dinner goes when you don't film it.
Oh, that's funny.
Because I film almost every single time I cook. And I even film when we get takeout because you know what? It's real and it's real life because I don't want to cook every night and I can't possibly cook every single night, but I cook most nights and I film almost every single night that I cook.
Wow. Okay, so before we get to this lovely book, I am always fascinated by early childhood memories in food. So I would love for you to share a childhood memory, maybe a smell, maybe a dish, something that comes to mind when you think about your childhood and food.
Well, I think you all know that I have a recipe in this book that is better than my mom's. It's the chocolate chip cookies. And the reason that this one comes to mind is every single year, the day that we would have our first day of school, my mom was a poster carrier. She was a rural carrier, which means she drove a mail truck. So she would go through her mail route as fast as humanly possible. She would rush home and she would make us chocolate chip cookies. And I gave you the better version of that recipe. And that's in this book.
Have you shared why they're better?
Well, I can tell you why they're better. I have tweaked a few things, a few key ingredients in this recipe that make them a little bit chewier, a little bit crispier, and a better chocolate to cookie ratio.
Got it.
So it's just generally speaking better. And she tried them not too long ago. You may have seen the video. And she said, that's a really good cookie. And I looked at her and said, and it's better than yours.
I did see that. And the video of your mom reciting The Grinch.
Oh, yes.
Phenomenal.
Yes, I caught that late at night.
Oh my
yes.
gosh, so good. Okay. Do you remember when you learned to cook?
Yes. I learned to cook when I was 12 years old. And a lot of it was by your friend Rachel Ray, and which I did not anticipate being in the presence of Rachel Ray adjacent here. So sorry to call you Rachel Ray adjacent. But I was so interested in food my whole life. I love to cook. And despite the fact that I'm angry when I cook, I love to cook. I have cooked my entire life. And my mom got breast cancer when I was 12 years old. And my oldest sister was going through a mental health crisis at the time. My dad had health issues at this time. My middle sister was about 14, 15 years old, and she was working to just kind of stay out of the way and help with whatever she could for her own sports expenses and things like that to take it off my parents' plate. And I'm 12. And what can a 12-year-old do when their parents are sick and can't cook dinner? Well, a 12-year-old could cook. And I got a chemo book of recipes that I would go through and bookmark and ask my mom, what would sound good to you? What could you eat? Because when you're going through chemo and radiation, you have a very different palate. And my mom would sit with her little tiny bald head that I would wrap in a scarf. And that is true. I learned how to wrap all of her scarves and tie them in pretty bows for her. And she would sit next to me on her stool and she would just dictate recipes. And I would write down what I should be making and what I should be doing. We would make shopping lists and menus. And I cooked for my family for a long time. And my dad cooked some, and my mom cooked when she could, but I cooked a lot for our family.
That's incredible.
And I'm still now my family's recipe keepers. We have a group chat, and they'll ask me, what's the chicken paprikash recipe? And it got to the point where I made them pin it in the group because I'm like, I'm sick of writing this down. And it was actually a part of the pre-order incentive for this book. So I now just like send them that. I'm like, here you go. You even get a pretty picture now.
That's so
because I'm not writing it down again.
What was the first dish that you made?
The very first dish that I made that I can remember making and like nailing, and it's also in this book, is biscuits and gravy, sausage gravy. My mom made this for us, and it's stupidly simple, by the way. So if you love biscuits and gravy, it's so easily simple, but it's so delicious. And it gives you a really good background in what goes into making a gravy, like how your fat and flour connect to thicken things. It I made my mom's sausage gravy, and now I make it all the time. My kids love it. Thank God, because I would die if my children wouldn't eat sausage gravy. But I learned how to make that, and it was like a once a month thing at least, sometimes every other weekend, and it was like a Sunday dinner, a Sunday breakfast, or we eat it breakfast for dinner a lot in our house.
Love that. That was the first thing you cooked when you were younger? Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
That was the first thing I mastered, I would say.
Okay. Who or what inspires you today?
My kids. So if you open your book, you may see that this is dedicated to my children who demand to be fed every single night.
Oh, kids.
My children are my inspiration for a lot of things. They're the reason I do everything. I wouldn't post on the internet all of the times a day and do all of these things. My children have an amazing backlog of things to watch. If ever they miss me when they're older, I exist in the internet forever. But they inspire me so much because my kids will think of things, and my daughter loves to tell me exactly what she wants for dinner. It's usually chicken and broccoli and green beans and mashed potatoes and rice, please, Mom. And I'm like, that's too many things. Can we narrow it down? And we'll come up with things, and they love to tell me what they want for dinner. So they're definitely like huge inspiration. And coming up with something new and different for children every single night is difficult, but it keeps it interesting and it keeps them trying things. So
for sure,
that's a big part of it.
I am a father of 7-year-old twins, so she is speaking my language. Do they eat the same thing every night?
Yeah, I serve one thing. It's my job to make your dinner. It's your job to eat it.
I'm like a short order cook.
Absolutely.
I literally made 4 freaking dinners the other night. Me, my wife, both kids.
No, in our house, it's Mom's job to make you something. My husband will tell the children all of the time, your mom can cook. People all over the world make her recipes, eat the food, or don't, and that's fine. But our rule in our house is that you have to try it. I don't care if you sniff it, lick it, something, try it. There is always something on their plate. My philosophy is I will give you what is for dinner and something also that you find appealing. It's fruit, it's vegetables. Like my children will eat peppers, they'll eat cucumbers and carrots and things. And my daughter loves broccoli. So there will be a vegetable or a fruit on their plate that they will like. They can have more of that if they don't like what the main dish is. But 9 times out of 10, if they try what I make, they'll eat it and they'll go, oh, I like that. I just never recognized it before. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. I roasted green beans the other night, and the sheet tray was sitting on the stove after the oven, and my kids both went over to it. They're like, can we try these? I'm like, I have asked you to try green beans 18 times. Like, why now? Anyway, kids.
Sometimes when it's just different looking and it's not on their plate, they'll eat it.
Yeah. Okay. Tell us about this book. Of course it's good. And why now?
Well, why now is books take a long time. Some of you have been pestering me, not knowing that I've been working on this for 2 years. Cookbooks take a long time. So view this cookbook a lot of, and part of the reason that my old kitchen, you may recognize, is on the cover is this is like an homage to this time in my life, right? So this is a snapshot of when I wrote this book. You don't write a book in one day and then publish it the next. You write a book over the course of months, and then it takes time to edit and publish and print and make it into your hot little hands. And so this book is a collection of some of my most viral recipes from back in the day that you know and love and have seen me make again and again, and a lot of brand new stuff that you've never seen. This is all really accessible food, affordable food, things that you can make and your family likely will eat because it's not anything crazy off the wall, and you likely have a lot of the ingredients in your house already without having to go on a scavenger hunt through the grocery store for things that you've probably never heard of. That's kind of like my philosophy. Food does not have to be fancy. It does not have to be complicated to feed your family. It just has to be good. And of course it's good.
Do you ever try a new ingredient that you're not used to using?
I do, and sometimes it throws people off the wall. Like a while ago, I started using shallots, and it was like, what's a shallot? And I'm like, okay, friends, let's discuss this in the comment section. It's not scary, and it's really not that weird. You can find it at any grocery store. But yeah, I am always using new and different things because I'm coming up with new and different things all of the time. But a lot of it is just pantry staples, really, because that's what's accessible to the masses. If we're being completely honest, especially right now, regular ingredients that you find in the grocery store that's in your pantry already are like gold because food is expensive. And if you can make something delicious with what you already have, bonus points.
By the way, Jess, that shallot story is actually very powerful. Like the fact that you can bring something that may be foreign to the masses and make them not afraid of it. It's pretty awesome.
And shallots are really good. I actually had somebody in New Jersey. They came up and they said, what can I do? I love your recipes, but you use so much garlic. I don't know what they're talking about. And I said, are you allergic to shallots? And they were like, no. And I was like, you should give it a try because it has a very similar flavor profile. It'll get you close to there. And then maybe you're not feeling that missing element.
Yeah. Did you ever make something when you're like, oh shit, this isn't good?
Yes, it's happened about 5 times, and I will always tell you if it's bad. And it does not happen very often. It's usually like, that didn't hit right.
Oh.
But I will be honest. If there's one thing about me, I am not a liar. I will tell you.
Will you try it again? Like if it didn't hit right?
I've never had anything so the last thing that just didn't do well was I may have spent a little too much time painting my face to look like a deer on Halloween. And I may have burnt green beans and barbecue chicken or teriyaki chicken, I can't remember, all over my sheet pan while we were getting ready to go out trick-or-treating. I will make that again. But if it's something that's just like, usually it's like my ADHD got away from me and like it turned to mush or something. But that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, love it. All right, give us a glimpse into you kind of did. I was going to say like the content creation process, but you film yourself cooking.
Sure, this
always.
is a question that people actually do ask.
Oh.
Is, do you plan these? Do you script them? Absolutely not. No, I usually think of like the first like 3 or 4 words that I'm going to say. And it's usually like, I'm like, okay, I'll slam the pan down and then I'm going to say, this is what I'm making. Let's make this shit or something like that. But that's about as far as it goes. Everything's unscripted. In fact, you will notice that about at least half of the time, I don't have the appropriate ingredients for what I'm trying to make because it's just real. And it's just like, this is what I want to eat. And we're going to figure it out one way or the other.
That's funny. Okay, so before we move on, there's something I don't want to read out loud myself, but here, you read it. This part in yellow.
Aw, this is Jess, you're my hero. Back in the day for me, I got resistance for not being specific with measurements and being too honest with cooks and readers. How have you handled being aggressive and honest and getting you out there on the page? Rachel Ray, you're kidding me right now, right? You're lying. Wait, hang on. I'm going to hand this back to you. Are you telling me that Rachel Ray has seen my face?
Yeah, we were.
I'm sorry. That is the best surprise anyone's ever given me in my entire life. And I am a human who loves surprises. That was amazing. Can you read the question again?
I texted Rachel last night. She's currently in Italy. I woke up to a text at 6:00 this morning from her that said, I sent her a couple like pictures of the book, the cover, the intro, a recipe, how you do the measurements. So she wrote back, Jess, you're my hero. Back in the day, for me, I got resistance for not being specific with measurements and being too honest with cooks and readers. How have you handled being aggressive and honest and getting you out there and on the page?
Oh my gosh. Well, can I say thank you so much because you just made my entire year and it's only the beginning of 2026. But to answer Rachel Ray's question of me, I think that's the thing that people love about me is that I cook just like them. Most people are not pulling out a tablespoon measure when they are measuring out garlic. Are we? Is anyone in here measuring when you're measuring out your oil in your pan or your garlic? Maybe some people who are maybe new to cooking do that. But as you cook for your family every single night, you kind of get a feel for what you're going to like and your taste and how much you want to put in something. In fact, that was one of the things that was hard about writing a cookbook was not only did I have to be specific for people who do cook like that, because a cookbook is as much as I know all of you in this room would have loved for me to say, use a metric ton of garlic, which it is in the book, by the way, but I tell you how much a metric ton is. You probably would have loved for me to say, use this much, or I don't know, until it looks right. People can't follow a recipe if it's, I don't know, and it doesn't feel polished and put together. That's what my friends at Page Street say. That's my publishing company and my editors. But you know what? They're right, because if you're somebody who's never cooked before, and this is a resource for a lot of people who maybe, I see this book being something that you could gift to somebody who just got their very first home and they're a new family and they don't know what to cook for their family, right? Because that's kind of like the food that's in this book. And are they going to be able to know when I say, I don't know, use this much onion? What is this much onion, right? So I think people resonate with it in my videos specifically because they see themselves in me. They see their mom in me. They see their aunt in me. They feel like they're sitting in the kitchen with a family member who is dictating a recipe to them. And a lot of the recipes in this book will read exactly like that because that's kind of how I write. It's like, This is what we're doing. We're going to throw it in the pan and you're going to cook it till it's done and brown and not gray and all of these things. And I've been so fortunate that people really like revel in that because they see themselves so much in what I do. And it feels like home.
Yeah. Did you learn anything new about yourself during the book writing process?
I learned that you can get sick of food. It's not as hard as you think. And I learned that I require silence and headphones to write, but I learned that I really, really do enjoy writing. And you guys may have noticed if you follow me on Facebook, because that's where you'll see a lot of my writing, that I write a lot more now than I ever have before. And before each recipe in this book, you'll get a little excerpt about maybe how I came up with this recipe for Matthew and I when we were in college, or why my children love this recipe, or, any number of little anecdotes that I slipped in here. And it kind of made me love writing even more. That's awesome. I never thought I was a writer. To be completely honest with you, I always thought that I was really dumb, like my whole life. Turns out I have ADHD and I didn't know it. And that's a really common thing, right? Like I had no idea that like other people felt this way. And being able to do something like this shows me that I'm capable of more than I think.
Incredible.
That you can do more than you ever imagined, and that I actually do like writing, and I'm actually pretty darn good at it, okay?
Love it. Not to jump ahead, but ideas for book number 2 or anything?
I have so many ideas. One of my members of my team is here, and I've said that to her about 300 times over the past 3 or 4 days. But I have so many ideas. I would love to write another book. I would love to write another book where I'm at now, knowing that this book is totally an homage to where I started and where I could go. And then, the sky is the limit. There's so much room for opportunity in the world. And I feel like I've only just begun. So yeah, I definitely not sure what that's going to look like, but I'm very excited.
Love it. Okay, as we start to wrap up, start gathering your questions. Any advice or tips for people in the room that may be afraid of the kitchen or say that they can't cook?
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's just food. Worst case scenario, you ruin dinner. It doesn't taste great. If you have to eat it, let's say worst case scenario, you have no other option. It doesn't taste great. So what? It's one dinner. Grand scheme of things, you have a lot more dinners to make, let's be so for real. And pizza's a thing, so is McDonald's. That's something that this has happened to, I think, everybody. You've made something and you're like, that sucked. Let's go get a hamburger. That really, if you're scared to cook because you're afraid of ruining something, allow yourself the grace that you can try again, and it doesn't hurt anything. And really, worst case scenario, you wasted a pound of pasta and a pound of meat or whatever. It's one of the things that I call a tax of life. And that's, you will make mistakes in your life, be it in the kitchen or in any other areas. I know I've made a lot. Some of my mistakes have cost me a lot of money. We've all been there, where you've done something really stupid and you're like, now I'm out a couple $100. That sucks. Dinner is not a really expensive tax of life. Making a bad breakfast isn't that cost worthy, and you can laugh about it, and it will be funny tomorrow, I promise.
Yes, love that. Good advice. All right, I know you're juggling quite a bit, all while getting dinner on the table for the fam. If it's okay with you, let's pretend Matthew and the family went on vacation and you get to invite your favorite celebrities over for a dinner party. Could be an athlete, a chef, a designer, anybody. Who would be around that dinner table?
Oh my goodness, this is a really hard question, because even though, as you guys know, I'm so excited that Rachel Ray, that she even saw my face. That's wild. I'm not a super celebrity person. So this is a great question. I would probably answer, if I could have anybody at my dinner table, and this is so cheesy. I want my kids with me. I'm so sorry. If I could have anybody in the world with me, I want my kids. And that's probably just because I'm a mom on the road missing her kids right now. And because they're the most important thing in the world to me. So
love it.
I don't think there's anybody in the world more important than them.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. This was incredible. Let's do a little Q&A action. Let's fire away. Just raise your hand high if you have a question.
I just wanted to know what your pan set is, what the brand of the pans you use are. Those really big ones that look really awesome.
So I'll answer this question now, so that every single time you guys come through, nobody else has to ask this. The absolutely massive skillet with the handles, which is the one you are asking about. The brand is Hexclad, but that specific one is the chicken fryer. That's what the absolutely massive skillet is. And hopefully you'll be able to keep track of which lid fits, because I can't. I stick the lid on and half the time it goes right in and I'm like, wrong lid, but it's Hexclad.
I'm right here. Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
So we know what your kids like to eat. What is Matthew's favorite meal, and what is your favorite meal to cook? If you were to cook for yourself and not for your kids, what would you make?
So if I was cooking for Matthew, there's 2 recipes in this book that he would absolutely devour any night of the week. It would be my chicken bacon ranch sandwich. Can I hold this?
Yeah.
Okay. That way I can look at people. I don't want you to feel like I'm not looking at you. The chicken bacon ranch sandwich, they're both sandwiches. And then the roast beef, a French dip sandwich that's in this book. In fact, he's over there giving thumbs up because him and my mom fist fought over the last one. When I was producing this cookbook, when I was photographing it, I made all of the food. So every single item in this book that you see, I cooked myself. And cookbooks produce a lot of food. So you wind up with a ton of leftovers, specifically these roast beef sandwiches. Like I dressed them, I wrapped them up, I put them in the freezer so he could have one whenever he wanted. My mom wanders up the stairs and she goes, Matt, you've got to grab one of those sandwiches out of the freezer for dinner tonight. And he looked at her and he said, Julie, that was the last one. They have not stopped talking about this. I don't think she'll never live it down, but that would be Matthew's picks. Mine would be the beef and broccoli for sure. So good. My dream is to sit in bed eating my beef and broccoli and watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the one with Melissa Joan Hart, all day and everybody leaving me alone. That would be my number one. And then the no-bake caramel bars. Give me that and leave me alone and I'm a happy lady.
So I just got a question. What would you tell someone who is starting out to make videos and doing this?
That's a great question. I get asked this all of the time. First of all, you never know what someone is going to be interested in watching. So put it all out there, see what sticks. And also, if you would not watch your own videos, don't make that video. So if I'm making a video and I'm watching it back, like I recorded a video today in my hotel room and I was like, this is the most boring thing I have ever done in my life. I didn't post that because like, if I don't even want to watch me, who else will want to watch me? But if you make content that you truly enjoy, like sometimes maybe this is cringy. Maybe I shouldn't tell you this. Sometimes late at night, I like to watch my own videos because if I'm tired enough, that girl isn't me anymore and she's funny, okay? But if you like to watch your own videos, that's a really great sign that other people probably would. So keeping things short and sweet, but making things that you actually enjoy is like hallmark.
This isn't really a cooking question.
Sure.
I watch your videos on Facebook all the time, and you and Emily with your kids and your pool days and your beach days and your park days and your snacks, and then you cook and you do your video. Where do you find the time? My daughter here does all that too, but she doesn't do videos. How do you do it?
Well,
how do you do it all?
There's a man standing back there, and his name's Matthew. And when I could not do what I do without him. He is the pick-upper and dropper-offer of the kids a lot of the time. He is the one who knows the kid. He is definitely a super involved and active partner in our household. I could not do what I do without him. I couldn't be here today if I didn't have support of my mom at home. Emily and I get a ton done together. So you may hear other questions about Emily. Emily is my very best friend in the whole world. I call her my wife. And my husband has had sometimes he'll walk in the house and she's there and he goes, I have 2 wives today. Matthew is my biggest supporter. He has never made me feel like what I'm doing is stupid, even when I'm doing something new and different, like screaming in my kitchen about the size of melons. There's a lot of things that I could not do without him. He does all of our laundry. He does the dishes, and he truly is my biggest supporter. So I hope I'm not trying to make you cry, but maybe you will.
Hi, Jessica.
Hello.
That's my sister's name, too. And I'm Jennifer. My parents are very original. I want to know, what is your favorite recipe to make in the winter, and what is your favorite recipe to make in the summer?
Okay, that's great. I love to make anything on the grill outside, even if I'm sweating my ass off at the Blackstone and I'm real pissed about it. There are a few Blackstone recipes in this book, but I love to make anything on the Blackstone. There is my barbecue burger in this book that is so good. And when I made it, it was inspired by Emily because she loves all things barbecue sauce. When I made it, she was not there at the time that I finished photographing that day. She was so pissed. I'm pretty sure I've made it for her since. That would be my favorite, one of my fave summer things, and my street corn pasta salad and my street corn dip. Ooh, actually, if I'm being honest, my street corn dip is something that I make way too often late at night. It's my late at night snack. It's my girl dinner, okay? And at night, I love corned beef in the winter. And in turn, my corned beef hasserole is what I call it that's in here. So good. I'm obsessed. This is weird. We call it pink meat in our house because it's pink and it's meat. And my children didn't know what corned beef was, and I didn't want to scare them with that. But apparently pink meat sounded more inviting. I don't know what's wrong with me, but my corned beef hasserole is a perfect winter meal.
That sounds so good. Wait. Sorry, Blackstone is at the flat, the griddle.
Yeah,
grill?
like a flat top griddle.
Okay.
Hi, super excited to get to meet you. You're an inspiration for, I think, a lot of us. I think it's really cool. But one question, also not really about cooking, but when you first started getting big or whatever, did you ever deal with imposter syndrome or anything like that?
Ma'am, I have imposter syndrome sitting up here right now. The amount of times that I have walked into a room over the last week or so, and I'm like, they do know that I'm just a lady, right? I literally and I truly will say, I violently reject anybody calling me famous because I don't view myself that way at all. I think I'm well known now by a lot of people, which is wonderful. I mean, Rachel Ray has seen my face. That's pretty fucking cool. But no, I have imposter syndrome so bad. And you know what? I think that most people who are at any level have that. I have friends who are also creators who I used to view as humongous creators. Oh my God, I can't believe that they know I exist. They're really good friends now, and I have larger following than they do now, and they sometimes ask me for advice as if I'm supposed to know what to do. And no, we all have imposter syndrome, so this is where I say the internet isn't real, and everybody feels exactly how you do. So when you're posting online and you're thinking, no one's gonna watch this video is trash, whatever, the things that you think when you're very first off starting out, right? Because you're scared and you're afraid that what if your coworker sees it when they're scrolling on their phone next to you, and then you have to explain that you make videos at home. Oh my God, how embarrassing. It's not embarrassing, really, because everybody, if they say that they didn't want it, if they said they never made a video, they're lying. Everyone has tried to make a video before, but really, we all have imposter syndrome. We all think that we're not as good as we are. And that is something that I am working on because I'm realizing that apparently people like me. I don't know. Apparently, I don't know.
So they say.
So they say.
Hi, Jessica. Yes, everybody loves you. It's been really fun watching you over the past year. It's been very inspiring and entertaining every day seeing your videos. But my question is about your microwave that moved to the pantry.
Yes, it did.
I want an update on, is it still living there? Has it changed?
It is still living there. I may have purchased the stupidest microwave to have ever existed. First of all, it doesn't have a fucking potato button, which is a travesty. If you've seen my You Can Bake a Potato in the Microwave video, where I tell you just put your potato in the microwave and hit the potato button. Why did I buy a microwave without a potato button? It's the stupidest microwave, but I spent $100 on this microwave and I'm not willing to admit that I was wrong. I'm looking at my husband right now because he hates the microwave in the pantry, but it is where it is because I can now film effectively, and I've figured it out. I have finally figured it out. And of course, now I'm not even in my kitchen to film in it, but the microwave will never return to its home. There was literally, my microwave for reference was this far. I measured it. It was from my wrist to my elbow above my stovetop. That can't be to code. People, no, it wasn't. And it was awful. It was in my way and I couldn't mash things aggressively.
You should put your phone on speaker and call the microwave company and be like, hey, you guys left the potato button off? Just see how long you could go. Anyway, sorry. Next question.
Hi, Jessica. I'm Kelly. And you are my birthday present, by the way, from my best friend here.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I can't believe that me, a human, is your birthday present.
I
That's
love
so
it.
Cool.
My question is actually for my daughter-in-law, my new daughter-in-law. She came in the bedroom one night when I was visiting her and said, Jake's in the shower. I need to ask you a question. Does this chicken look good? She never thinks chicken looks good. Will you please tell her when it's bad? Because she won't believe anybody else.
Oh, when it's bad,
when
as far as
is not
when
good
it's
for
gone
you.
off?
Yep, it's not good anymore.
Well,
don't cook with it.
If your chicken smells bad, that's a great sign that it's not good. Another good sign that it's not good is if the packaging starts to puff up. That means it's releasing bacteria has started breeding. It is releasing gases. If your chicken smells neutral, like it doesn't smell like anything, and he's an actual chef, so if I'm wrong, you can feel free to correct me. If it doesn't smell like anything, you're fine. Chicken naturally will have a little bit of that ick and slime. That's normal, but it should not smell bad. You would know if your chicken was bad, usually, I would say. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Real chef human?
Yes, that's very accurate. If something has an off odor like chicken, it's probably best to not.
Trust your nose. And also, as always, when in doubt, throw it out. But you don't have to be throwing out chicken that's just been in the fridge for like 2 days. It's probably fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I have to know how Jane is.
Jane is my sourdough starter, if you did not know. Now you do. Jane is my sourdough starter that bit me, and I dropped a sourdough jar, and she sliced my finger open. I had 6 stitches from her. She's been in timeout for quite some time. She has no current offenses other than the fact that I am not able to make Jane, to Matthew's dismay, because he is the number one reason that I make Jane bread, is what we call it in our house. She's just fine. She has about this much hooch on the top. It is gray. It is not mold. It is fine. You can dump it off, feed her a few times. It should be good to go. And maybe I'll make him focaccia when I get back. He says, maybe not. He knows it takes like days.
My favorite videos of you are my Matthew Try videos. I think that they're the best of the both of you, honestly. Like, your personalities blend so well, and it's like night and day opposite, but you guys are perfect together. Like, I love those videos. They're my favorite.
Well, thank you. Matthew's back there. If you haven't seen him wandering around.
Oh, I did. Post more of those videos. I want to see it.
So if you've never seen Matthew Tries, I'm not sure if anybody here has never seen Matthew Tries. Matthew tries things that he's never tried before, and I channel my Matthew energy, and I am very low key. And it took him about, I don't know, maybe a year before he realized the character that I was playing in Matthew Tries is Matthew. And I was like, how did you not know I was channeling you? But thank you. I love doing Matthew Tries. We have to just like hype him up because he's like, it's late. I don't want to do it. But I also have another edition of Matthew Tries wigs on the horizon. So he's making a face like he doesn't know it exists, but he knows it exists.
So good.
Hi, so nice to meet you. Let's continue to be real for a second. I've made a million meal plans and lists, and I'm gonna make this on this day, and I never do. So my question for you is, what pantry staples would you recommend to keep in the house for the days that I just, nope, we're not doing that today?
On your I don't want to cook days, you need rice, you need noodles of any sort, and you need potatoes in your house. Those are the 3 things that you need at all times. I would say you also need to have onions and garlic. It doesn't have to be fresh. You can have dehydrated minced onion, but you need some form of onion and you need some sort of garlic. On the very worst day, you don't want to make anything. You can make buttered noodles. You know what? When you don't want to cook, you can make whatever the hell you feel like as long as it feeds you. It does not have to make sense. It does not have to be fancy. You can literally make yourself a potato. I've done it, but really, you would want to have things, your dry goods. Also, do not underestimate tomato paste. It adds so much richness and depth of flavor to dishes, and it is cheap, and you can get it in a tube, so you don't have to open an entire can when you want just a tablespoon or 2. So those would be my top pantry staples. And you need those for a lot of the things in this book too.
For one more question. Okay, so to start, I'm the second person whose birthday present you are, by the way.
Well, happy birthday.
And then my question was, is there anything that you've made where Matt or your mom were like, ew, no, just don't do that again?
I don't know. I usually if the reaction from Matthew is one time back in college, do you remember? Do you know what I'm about to say? We had I would write down what I was like, I don't want to think about what I'm making for dinner. So I got a recipe card box holder and I got index cards, and I would write a recipe. I would write the name of the meal, and I would have him rate it so that he could tell me whether or not, do you remember this? Yes. I'm like, am I dreaming? Did I make this up? And it didn't last very long. Instead, it transitioned to a note in my phone. No, normally if I make something, he'll go, it wasn't my favorite. But I will say something about my husband, even things that aren't his favorite, which is not in this book. It's called Chicken Surprise. It's the weirdest thing that I make, and I make it about once a year for myself. It's kind of a hybrid of my chicken cordon bleu casserole meets chicken stuffing casserole meets, I don't know. It's really weird, and it's not something that the internet needs to see. He doesn't love it. I make it once a year, and it makes me happy. But he will eat it, and you'll eat pretty much everything I make. Yeah, he says, yeah. He's like, I didn't know I was part of this Q&A.
You all are awesome. We could probably sit here answering many, many, many more questions, but there are books to be signed. Thank you, everybody. It was a joy to be here with all of you. And thank you, Jessica.
Thank you so much for coming.
Find all social media links for myself, Beyond the Plate, and our guests in the episode notes and on beyondtheplatepodcast.com. As always, a big thanks to the whole Beyond the Plate team. And if you have a moment, we'd be grateful for your support by rating, reviewing, and even hitting that subscribe button to the podcast. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Plate. I'm Cappy, and remember, there are never too many cooks in the kitchen.